Okay, guys, so we all know how important digital ID is going to be going forward. And wouldn't you know it, Tezos, of course, is going forward with their own digital identification project. So if you're interested in that, be sure to stick around for this episode of your Digital Hustle News. Welcome back to another episode of your Digital Hustle News. Ladies and gentlemen, Tezos-based identity oracle TEZID has just gone live as of this morning. This week, the crypto industry witnessed the launch of TEZID, a new identity oracle based on the Tezos blockchain. Now, for those who may not know, TEZID is a smart contract that will aid blockchain users in verifying ownership of email addresses, phone numbers, and virtual currencies that they own. The contract will also extend to storing physical addresses and government IDs in the foreseeable future. TEZID aims to help blockchain users use the oracle as one address to verify several proofs. According to the TEZID blog, the oracle works as a smart contract with several registered addresses, each with verified proofs. The user is first required to link their wallets to the decentralized application. After that, the user will register their wallet address under the application's smart contract. Now, on the subject of smart contracts, guys, if you caught my video from earlier this morning, you will know now that smart contracts are just as legally binding as paper contracts, thanks to the state of Iowa. Now, upon request for a verification code from the Oracle, TEZID will confirm if the user's email was registered before. When the registration request is confirmed as new, a verification code will be sent to the user's email, allowing them to integrate it on the TEZID dApp. Finally, the Oracle will classify the property as a verified proof in the TEZID smart program. So, how is this significant to Tezos? The team behind TEZID is convinced that the Oracle will be a game changer in the mechanisms within the Tezos ecosystem, including decision making. According to the developers, decisions such as quadratic voting could require proof that the user voting behind the Tezos address is in fact a human being and not a robot. TEZID will also have the ability to query a registered address in its smart contract before allowing the unique address to cast a vote. The Oracle aims to create somewhat ideal governance and regulatory stance in the decentralized Tezos network. The developers admit that it sounds like a bad idea to register your address in a ledger that everyone within the network can view. However, they are reassuring users that the information displayed is a hash representation of their property. In case an attack occurs, the hackers will only access a list of hashes with no extra information. Simply put, to a hacker, it would basically read back as a Bitcoin address or, just a plain address. Nevertheless, the Oracle will charge a $10 fee for each user, but the cost might go on the lower side as the Oracle advances. The fee's usage will enable further development of TEZID and the running of the contract, according to Tezos. The Oracle ensures one user can't register several different addresses. So, simply put, guys, once this gets rolling fully, just by application, this should drive the price of Tezos up, because at $10 per user, if they try to get 100 million users, okay, that's when we start bringing money into the Tezos ecosystem, enough of which to push that price in the direction that we want it to go. Now, we know decentralization is key. Tezos is building channels to uphold the attributes of blockchain technology, such as decentralization. With the introduction of TEZID, the Tezos blockchain further leverages decentralization by giving users the power to control whatever happens within its ecosystem. TEZID will also help the Tezos blockchain achieve flexibility without biting a piece of the technology that traditional finance systems use. So, once again, guys, the importance of digital identity. I'm going to make it a point to make all of my subscribers aware that this is where we're headed. Okay? There will be different projects. Notice how the only one that uses Bitcoin is Microsoft, and that won't be the most prominent. But projects like Tezos, like Digibyte, and others that are specifically focused on digital identification, they will be the stars of this next bull run. Guys, make sure you stick around for the end of the video, because I found another piece of information that highlights where we're going, where this whole digital identification thing is kind of leading us, and I think you guys might be interested in that. You know, I always like to keep you guys informed. But yes, this is very bullish for Tezos. The TEZID is going live. No, this is not an April Fool's joke, although this is April 1st. But with that being said, guys, that's it for this video. Just wanted to shed light on Tezos' recent development. Don't forget to hit that like button as well as subscribe. Thank you for coming back to the channel. I don't know if I said that already, but it doesn't hurt to say it again. Thank you for coming back to the channel. There, I said it a third time. But yes, of course, if you want to get at me, I'm always open in the comment section. I'm always down there chillaxing. And I'm also on Twitter, DigiHustle2021. Also, don't forget to check out Library, guys. Decentralized alternative to YouTube. And you can earn free crypto just by watching other content. And it's pretty great content on there. I also have some exclusive content on the channel that can't be posted on YouTube because of reasons. But if you're interested in that, make sure you check out the links in the description. And while you're down there, don't forget to check out PipeFlare. It's how I support independent blockchain video game developers, guys. Doesn't cost nothing to show some love. With that being said, guys, I hope you have a great day. And I hope you have a prosperous day. Most importantly, make that money. I'll see you in the next video.
With the number of international arrivals expected to grow 50% by 2030, travellers need seamless ways to cross borders that also protect national security while protecting their personal data. The Known Traveller Digital Identity, or KTDI, is a public-private collaboration that enhances security efforts while enabling a connected journey for today's international traveller. The KTDI is the only global travel initiative of its kind. Travellers can share documentation and information from one verified identity with partners including government authorities, airlines, and hotels. The KTDI allows travellers to play an active role in travel security efforts by sharing their information proactively. Travellers always retain control over what, when, and with whom they share their information. Each data element shared by the traveller is verified, accurate, and consistent every time. This is made possible by the technologies of distributed ledger, cryptography, and biometrics. As more data and information is added, travellers build more enriched profiles that build trust with each partner interaction. Let's follow one example of what the journey could look like for future travellers. After travellers download the KTDI app and create their profile, governments provide and authenticate the traveller's identity data based on their passport or government-issued digital ID. Biometrics will link the digital identity with the physical person and their national identity document. When approved, profiles are securely stored and encrypted in individual identity wallets. These contain the original government attestation and additional attestations as proof of the traveller's history of border crossings, plane trips, and hotel check-ins. When a traveller shares required identity information, the attributes they share are checked and validated through encrypted links to their source information. Whether the traveller is booking a flight, boarding a plane, or entering a destination country, the travel provider or government authority can be sure that the information shared is authentic and verified by the issuing organisation. Travellers could also send their information to authorities in advance of departure, allowing travellers that are deemed low risk to be screened sooner and processed faster. Hotels could offer self-service check-in via facial recognition to ensure travellers are who they say they are. Throughout the journey, the known traveller digital identity creates one connected process to build trust, encourage travel, and allow precious security resources to focus on the areas of greatest need. Components of the known traveller digital identity will be championed by the governments of Canada and the Netherlands. Additional partners include Air Canada, KLM Royal Dutch Airlines, Toronto Pearson International Airport, Montreal Trudeau International Airport, and Amsterdam Airport Schiphol, in collaboration with the World Economic Forum and Accenture. The known traveller digital identity will be piloted this year, unlocking the power to change how we travel.
It's at the end what the fourth industrial revolution will lead to is a fusion of our physical, our digital, and our biological identities.